Welcome my people to a new AI-made tech reviews video. Here I am recording a video because some topics are very spicy in the Dominican Republic and I wanted to give my opinion on those topics. I have not been recording this type of content because I am waiting to buy a camera specifically for that. Although the phone gives me very good audio, I want it to be a specific camera for this for multiple reasons. And one of them is that sometimes I need to support some of my comments on some data that I cannot retain in memory. And since I do not have a phone to do it, then I refrain from making some videos. This week's topic is taxes and everything they want to put there as taxes. Most of the complaints I see are from people who say that there are too many taxes and that if they put their taxes on them, they will go bankrupt. I understand, to give my opinion on this, that for the salaries of the Dominican Republic, the amount of tax that will be added, because obviously taxes are paid there, for the amount of tax that will be added from the new Fiscal Modernization. What a ridiculous name, my God. Based on these changes that are coming, I understand that people's salaries are too much. To simplify it, the purchasing power with the amount of tax that is coming is going to be reduced, and that is not going to represent an increase in people's salaries. That means that people are going to be poorer. Let's deduce it like this: people are going to be poorer. The new fiscal modernization translates to the middle class being poor, and the poor class is going to be taken by Satan himself. And I always make the comparison between the Dominican Republic and France in some things. And it is true that here in France we pay a lot of taxes. Just to give you an idea, if you look at the comparison between my gross salary and my net salary, it is almost 2,000 EUR that they take from me every month. My gross salary is like 3,800 and my net salary is like 1,800. In other words, they take an exorbitant amount of taxes from me, and on top of that you buy or rent a house. And the simple fact of living in a house means that you are going to pay annual taxes on the house you live in. Depending on the sector and the value of that house, then you are going to pay more or less money for the house I live in, which is not mine. Obviously I pay around 1,000 euros in taxes. That means that I have to keep saving money during the year so that when that blow comes, I have something to cushion it. And that never fails. The tax people have my account number, and from there they go whoops and they collect that money. Obviously I set it up like that. There are people who pay with checks. There are people who go and deposit it in an account, but I set it up like that. So in the United States, there is what is called the income tax. The income tax is a refund that the American state makes of the taxes that they collected throughout the year. It is at the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken. In the United States, they give you back that money, which seems extremely good to me. Now, what seems extremely bad to me here in France is that here they do it too. But the problem is that when that income tax arrives, we already have to pay the right to housing, which is the tax for the house in which you live, as I just told you. So finally here they give it back. The positive point of that is that if they did not give it back, then you would have to take money out of your pocket to cover that expense. Usually you never know for sure when you're going to be charged, and if there's a big difference, then you have to pay out of your own pocket. That's how it works. Returning to the Dominican Republic, what I have seen, because I have followed all those pages of the Dominican Republic, is that the increases that they are going to put on you are abusive. In the Dominican Republic, they have this custom of looking for a way around everything. If it is beer, that they raise the tax, or they make their own beer, their own rum, or they go to more and more generic brands. Increasingly worse, people do not stop drinking. If it is cigarettes that they raise the taxes, they start choosing the worst cigarettes, but they continue smoking and they cut back on the quality of life they have. If you eat good quality rice, you eat it of less quality. If you eat good quality salami, now you eat it of less quality. And all those taxes that are paid there in the Dominican Republic, you do not see it in clean highways, you do not see it in electricity that does not fail, or in the maintenance of the electrical infrastructure. You do not see that those taxes are used for absolutely nothing. That money is not used to improve the living conditions of Dominicans. I have heard many people saying that if the water did not go out, if the electricity did not go out, if the medical services were good, they would not care about paying more taxes. In other words, people do not even talk about getting their tax money back or anything like that. People say, I would like that back in products and services, and that is what people would like, and the Dominican government, the Dominican state is incapable of returning it either in money or in services, infrastructure, roads, in the maintenance of the city in which you live. They are simply incapable of doing it. And well, this was what I wanted to say about fiscal modernization. Here we pay an exorbitant amount of taxes, but at least people have guaranteed health, people have guaranteed education. I earn little in relation to the amount of taxes they charge me. I earn little money, but I have not hanged myself here because at least the children study here in primary and secondary school. It is not expensive. Here my oldest daughter goes to school and soon to high school, and that is not expensive for me. If supporting my daughter with a good education or good health was expensive, I would simply disappear. I would have to have 2 jobs, which would ruin the quality of life of living in Europe. If you work in Europe and have 2 jobs, you are just another dog. Here I know few people who have had jobs for one reason or another. You can have 2 jobs, one is full-time and the other part-time. You can also have your own job and a self-employment at the same time. You can do that, but not work privately for 2 companies. If you exceed the number of hours per week, you cannot be employed. And it is all just to ensure the health and mental health of the people who work, the health of the workers. There are people who have a low salary, who apply for some aid, and obviously you have to meet many requirements to apply for that aid, otherwise they don't give it to you. To conclude, the new fiscal modernization is to make the poor disappear, so that the middle class is poor and so that the wealthy class is a little less wealthy, because the majority of the upper class, the rich people, are the ones who manage the companies, the businesses and all that, and they are the ones who are going to increase those taxes on all the products and services that they offer, and that later falls on us at the bottom. That is why the rich have that advantage. So if you can become an entrepreneur, because even if the tax affects you, you will be able to impose those taxes later on whoever consumes your product. Until next time.